This is the first ever Music the Universal Language. First episode, first podcast. And my first guest ever is a local musician who I play with both as a duo and we perform as a full band or a trio sometimes as well. He's an amazing lead guitar player. This is Nathan Michaud. And say hello, Nathan. How's it going?
It's going pretty well. Thanks for having me out here tonight.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Cheers to you. Got the Jacob Green koozies.
See?
He's drinking local. I'm drinking regional. All right? We won't tell you what they are. So. And, I wanted to maybe talk about both of our musical backgrounds a little. So, if we go way back, basically I've been somewhat involved in music in so many ways for a very long time. But it started as young as 8 years old, taking piano lessons from the old lady, making my mom happy till 3-4 months later you do the recital and she's like, oh yeah, you can quit now, you made it this far. So doing that whole thing, and then eventually had a really good friend he's still my good friend, but he's like a renowned violinist now, classical jazz, insanely good violinist, and he was one of my best friends growing up, so he got me involved into orchestra. And so I played violin in orchestra from the age of 10 to 15 years old. And I didn't really have much appreciation for classical music or learning by reading sheet music. It just wasn't, whatever. I was like a young kid and it wasn't very appealing to me. Now I kind of appreciate classical music more. And obviously I learn better by ear or even just kind of like feeling the music. Or like I always say, where I grew up and stuff. I was huge into 90s rap in middle school when I was in orchestra. So if someone would have just taught me the Gangsta's Paradise lick by Coolio on the violin, I might have had a whole nother appreciation for it, or learning it by ear, I would say. But, and then I was, when I was about 14 years old, I was corn tasseling all summer, picking the tassels out of the corn. And saved, after, I don't know how long I worked, maybe a month, maybe a couple months. I made like $300 after the whole summer. And I bought this red Raptor PV that's right above Nathan's head.
That one right there.
And it was like $310 with that and a little shit amp. And I think I got it in like August, and like by September I was just rocking power chords and trying to play punk music, and we were into like Green Day and Sublime, Rancid type shit. Even Blink-182. I hate to admit it.
Yeah, stuff that
I was 14 at the time, chasing girls, whatever.
Power chords, they were your best friends when you were learning. It's just the way hey, look, I can play guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you go from there.
And the thing is, if you can kind of like lock into that power chords like quickly, some people can't always get it. You can just roll with it and play like so many different things. It's like an easier version of everything. But that's what kind of punk rock really. And then if you can palm mute good, you're fucking set,
Hell yeah.
But we had a little punk band. It didn't last long. We did like 2 or 3 basement shows, and we did like a New Year's Eve show. That was like the big one, and we kind of sucked. But my buddy Matt, who's the awesome violin player, Matt Pickert, he was the bass player for the band. And, of course, he was just, like, better than me and the drummer by far. We were a 3-piece. And he was doing, like, funky popping, slapping bass while I'm fucking rocking power chords and singing, trying to sing, like, probably kind of like a Green Day thing. Like, wah, wah, wah. I don't know. Whatever. It was bad. We were called Nifty.
Nifty.
So. And then, later in high school, again, I got back into hip-hop. I was experimenting with that, amongst other things. And also kind of like indie, rockish, techno kind of music. I don't know what the hell. It was experimental, for sure. To eventually, when I was 21, I bought an acoustic guitar. I started getting to more like folk, blues, bluegrass, Old Crow Medicine Show, and like Robert Johnson, and all sorts of just more roots music. And I used to be like a diehard show junkie, like I think in 2 years I went to like 300 shows in like 2 years, and I'm talking like if you include every show, like bar
Yes.
shows, and just going like every chance you get, going 3-4 times a week, you're broke as shit, but you just keep figuring out how to go.
Oh, I remember those days. I used to have a
was
notebook.
20 or 21, yeah.
Yeah, I was about the same age. I had a notebook that was just full, just so I could keep track.
I have a lot of ticket stubs. Obviously, a lot of the bar ones you don't always get, and then of course
Yeah.
you lose some. But I have a whole case where it goes back to, the high school days where I was going to see punk shows more, like, a Green Day, Goldfinger, Lesson, Jake, ska band.
Yeah.
I was into all that shit. And then let's see. Yeah, so I was 21 years old. I got an acoustic guitar. I was like, I've always just been into writing some form of lyrics or just original music. So even though I was horrible at singing and mediocre at playing my guitar, I had a lot of songs and things to say. So it didn't really stop me from. By the time I was 22, I was already like going out to open mics and trying to perform. And then, then I got like in my hometown is Beloit, Wisconsin, kind of rough town on the edge of Illinois. And we had a hometown band, and we, the guys I played with were called Green and the Grit, Jacob Green and the Grit. We were 5-piece at the time. The rest of the band, they were like really good at playing covers, like note for note, and like I was like good enough at singing them, and they would do anything from like Red Hot Chili Peppers to Sublime to like Zeppelin to even like Queen sometimes, and even like Rick James once, I think, Halloween show. And then I was always like, no, we got to do a good amount of originals, so it kind of turned into a 50-50 thing. But again, that was kind of short-lived, even though I still will get together with at least 3 out of 5 of those guys every time I go back to Wisconsin, and we still go under the grit, and we still have a good amount of originals. The songs I've been playing for like, I don't know, 9 or 10 or 11 years or something like that. And eventually moved to Milwaukee and lived there for 3 years. The last 2 years was in a band, River Water Tribe. We were kind of like acoustic punk, or like bluegrass meets punk or some shit, like gypsy bluegrass kind of folk thing.
Yeah, hybrid.
Yeah, and
we call it a hybrid.
We had like, my buddy, he actually passed away, but he was a washboard player, so that was like a really different thing we had. And then we had like accordion player one time, probably 4 or 5 different fiddle players, a saxophone player, and then like then just like a bass player, obviously, and then me singing and playing acoustic guitar. But yeah, we built up a pretty solid local following, and even did a few tours as like a 2 and 3 piece going on the road. Yeah. And then even having like, we had a little Colorado tribe where it was like another fiddle player and a banjo player would play with us there because they lived there.
Right.
When we would go out there.
And they had connections there.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that was after that, that band, we'll still get together too with some of the remaining members and do our thing in Milwaukee when I'm back in the area. But after that band kind of like had a lot of opportunity and we didn't really do the next thing with that, that's when I was kind of like, okay, if I'm going to go solo, I got to go like balls to the wall, step up my game. And that's when I started the one-man band. That was about 7 years. That was like exactly 7 years ago. I guess I was 27 going on 28. And since then, the last 7 years, it's been my only job. I'm still pretty damn poor. And the first year, 7 years ago, that was definitely the poorest year. But, I also live very frugal, have lived on the road a lot. So, yeah, increasingly I've been making a little bit more money off it. And I'm really fortunate and grateful that it is my own job. It's definitely not easy, and you have to, take the responsibility of being your own booker, manager, promoter, all this independent stuff. That's kind of even what we're doing right now, just another way.
Multiple different jobs, same face.
Again, we're promoting we're creating like our own promo and or media, just kind of like we're creating an interview right now in itself. So hopefully some people out there find it interesting. I actually love reading or listening to interviews by musicians. Like, I know a lot of useless information about musicians because I study that shit, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and that's what I've played all over this fucking country, and used to live in Northern California, Colorado, obviously Wisconsin. Now I've been in Vermont just over 2 years. Still playing music. Now I have a 2-year-old daughter, and here with my partner, and she's originally from Vermont, and we are in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont. That is the northeastern part of Vermont. So, Vermont's like the northeastern part of the country. I already said this, didn't I? No, maybe.
No.
Take one? Yeah, maybe.
No deja vu.
And so we're in the northeastern part of the country, Vermont, and the northeastern part of the state, and they call it the NEK, the Northeast Kingdom here. And yeah, so I'm still doing my music thing, one-man band thing. I know I can't do the one-man band forever, but still do duo shows. Like I'll play with Nathan. He plays lead guitar, and do trio shows, full band. Nathan will also play. So, yeah, still doing my thing, and I'll have plenty of time to talk about myself and all the shit from the past anyways on here, so I'm the fucking host and whatever. So. Let's give Nathan a chance to talk about where the hell it all started for him in the music world.
Music.
Transitioning.
Do. Anyhow.
He's like, wait, it's on me. Shit.
No, turn it off. Music. Pretty much from the beginning. It's just childhood memories. Grandparents played music constantly. It was the old country. Conway Twitty.
Nice.
Grand Ole Opry was on all the time. So I had that around me. My parents were kind of hippies. So there was classic rock going all the time.
60s or 70s, but we're both.
Combination.
Right. There's always that late 60s and early 70s.
No, it was actually like 50s up through.
Well, and see, my parents listened to those oldies.
So I had a
rock and roll.
Bit of everything going on. I had a crazy uncle, schizophrenic.
Oh,
great man. He played electric, acoustic, and keyboard. Not phenomenally well, but what he played was good. And you could see that he enjoyed it and he was happy.
Right, and I think even sometimes, I can't speak for, schizophrenics, but I think it can be a kind of healing thing.
Yeah, no, it is.
Expressed.
It is. That's how I've gotten this far.
In the expression sort of thing.
Right. That's how I've gotten this far is for music. It keeps you sane.
Do you recall any age, like when you started playing, or?
Yeah, I started horn, trumpet when I was 10, like everybody else.
Right.
Played straight through high school. Probably should have continued on after, to be honest.
So 10 to 18.
Yeah. I did. Did New England festivals, all-state festivals.
Nice. This is in like later high school or
middle
school too. What was your main instrument?
Trumpet.
And but you did something else too, right? Or
no,
that was your main gig.
That was my. But I did both jazz and concert bands. So
right on, cool.
And the jazz was even more fun because you could improv.
Hell yeah.
And it had a good beat, whatever, it just gets you into it. Somewhere around 15, my uncle gave me a Yamaha. Yeah, the Yamaha acoustic. At that point, it was like $500. It was kind of nice.
Yeah.
This would have been back. So I was 15. I'm 44 now. Well, 43, sorry. Almost 44.
I'm almost 35.
So I think it was 1990, 91. No, 92. There we go. Somewhere around there. 90s. Anyways. Yeah, I'm that old.
I missed the 90s.
He gave me a guitar. I was starting to strum some chords. I had
Yamaha acoustic?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a bunch of music. I was a band dork. Still am. I was a band geek. That one time at band camp? That's me.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Well, no, that's not me. Not with the flute. Okay, now we're getting off tangent. Anyways.
That's good. I like that.
Where was I going? Oh, music.
Just keep going in the chronological musical. As best as you can remember. It's kind of a lot.
So I had friends that were in a band, and they were playing a freshman orientation, so it would have been my junior year, and they handed me a bass. They're like, we know you can read tablature because you can read music, and I could read music really well. Tablature was easy because all you had to do at that point for me was I could read the rhythms really fast, and it's just put the numbers, so it kind of...
What kind of band?
What do we do? Is for 90s stuff. I did like Radiohead tunes, like one original,
like Pearl Jam or something.
Boy, Alice in Chains, stuff like that. Yeah, it was The first tune I learned, though, on bass was a Stone Temple Pilots Plush.
Wait,
that was
so you're 15 in 92. That's a pretty cool time to be 15, man.
Trying to get my age. I graduated in 94.
Oh, okay. So you were like 16 in 92. You're like 15 in 91.
Yeah,
so
there we go.
Oh, dude, like. Wow.
Oh yeah, good music.
Saw
I did.
Grunge just come out, and it was like.
I saw when Sub Pop was actually before they blew up in Seattle. They were looking at Burlington. The music scene then was off the hook.
Really?
It really was. The whole
in Burlington.
Burlington was off the hook in the early 90s.
Like original stuff and just
hardcore,
the college scene.
Underground hardcore, alternative, indie pop.
Shit, man.
Pretty much, they booked a lot of good music.
That's cool, man. Well, there was a lot of, I don't know. There was just the masses of like punk and grunge, and
that was up here too.
I feel
Big
like
time.
it was like it came everywhere somehow. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, but continue. Yes, that's awesome.
So, anyways, that's the first tune I learned. I did your normal, I guess. Played, and let's see, the first real band I was in was called Crate. It was from somebody picking on me because my name is Nate, and the only thing you could think of was Crate. It's like, dude, thanks for the band name, man.
Right. Great.
Anyways, we played. I mean, we did a few parties, whatnot. We were all original stuff, kind of like Smashing Pumpkins, Gish and Lull Time meets, I don't know, if you've ever heard of Sunny Day Real Estate.
I know the name.
Obscure 90s sub pop band. You might know the rhythm section better from the Foo Fighters.
Okay.
So
what were the vocals like for this band?
Oh, Nate. It's Nate or Nathaniel was his name.
So
it's kind of emo, but less scream and more sing.
Like I don't know, who would you compare it to? Like as emo as like.
I've never been able to compare them to anybody.
Like,
just have to check them out sometime.
Like Smashing Pumpkins, but no.
No. These guys were. He could sing.
Right on, hell yeah. Crate. And so there's something out there by Crate you could find on the interwebs, maybe.
No, not on the interwebs. That one was
something
for Crate. No.
Shit.
I think my originals. After that, I actually sang in a hardcore band for a while. We played Burlington. Off and on, we had something going on in Newport. We were young, dumb.
Still rocking bass.
I started on bass and moved into vocals.
Oh,
just straight up.
Shit.
I fronted that.
That's cool.
I used to be scary, I guess.
You like the gothic look or the grunge, the mix?
Here,
you just had the
shaved head.
Oh, right on.
Even 20 years ago.
Right on. So you were just hardcore in the Newport scene, you said?
More Burlington, Newport, but
yeah, obviously, yeah, okay.
But there was a club, and I at Newport for a while. It didn't last long. It was a great thing.
Interesting. I can see that happening.
It was like a coffee shop.
Oh, okay. That's
all ages type deal.
Yeah.
But after that, I played in a couple different formations with some local acts like. I've played with Todd Prano. He's a local folk musician around here, off and on since I was like 20.
No shit. And is he like your age? So like 20 years or?
He's like 4 years, 3 years.
Older, younger?
2 younger. He's 2 years younger. There we go.
So yeah, cool. So but still, you've been playing since he was like 20.
Yeah.
And so he's probably gotten better over the years, and he's awesome now.
Oh yeah, we all grown and done our own things.
Yeah.
But after that, I settled down. I had children and literally put my electric guitar away. Played acoustic fingerstyle for like 15 years, just at home for myself and my family.
That's awesome, though. So how old were you when you had your first kid?
28.
Okay, cool. So were you kind of just like bouncing around?
No, I disappeared.
So when did you leave the scene? Or like
when I was like 23. I kind of.
So, but you were in it since you were like 15 almost.
Yeah, so but I just kind of moved on and wasn't.
So was there like a lot of other bands you kind of joined for a second, or just too many to name?
There was tons. I mean, there's people that I don't know. I was done. I hit this weird spot in my musical creation, and I just went stagnant and For a few years, I'd play once a year. Once a year, pick it up. No, put it down.
So it was like, leaving it any result of like getting into more different music, because then you
I think it was just me
and you wanted
growing and changing.
Right, because it's like I almost feel like I got into, some forms of death metal or thrash metal, and obviously like hardcore punk at certain times. It wasn't ever like too long. I mean, I wasn't playing in bands like that, but I was definitely listening to bands like that, and I almost feel like it's something. It almost just reminds me of like a younger self. It's something I had to like shed.
No,
I couldn't listen to this forever. You know what I mean?
No. Well, you
can
can.
like hip hop. I mean, yeah, you can, but then you don't want to. If you want to change and evolve, in a sense, you almost had to like evolve with what you're listening to.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can still enjoy it when you hear it come on from time to time and go.
Nostalgia is crazy, man.
Isn't it?
Nostalgia. It's beautiful though. It's like it can take you back to some crazy places, obviously. But music's a powerful thing in that way.
That it is.
So cool. So you were like just kind of in and out of this thing.
Yeah.
So then 23, you're like, okay.
I kind of went the path of I'm not going to chase the dream. I'm going to keep my music, and I'm going to get a 9-to-5 job and just do the corporate.
Pay the bills.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it the grind, but do the grind.
Yeah,
it was a different choice. Own a house. It's, but don't tell me I didn't struggle. I struggled so much throughout that time, but.
Yeah, I was imagining it was a rough lifestyle. That influences you a little too. You almost think about life in general, like, okay, well, shit. I don't know. We all have different experiences. But
anyways, I did that, and some of it was I just wanted to be there for my family,
Right.
as much as I could. My upbringing was a little weird. Don't need to get into that. That would be another show.
Yeah, man.
Anyhow.
Do a flashback show.
Oh, that could be scary.
Well, we'd have to consume certain things to do that.
Yeah, you got a point, but that could be really scary.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I feel like this is a safe room for some reason. I don't know. There's something about it. Yeah, when the instruments surrounding you
well, if they start shaking, then we know we have issues.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, there's good spirits in here, I think. Cause, I actually really like this. This is where I record all my one-man band stuff or any studio stuff, and it's it's a nice room. I put the floors in myself, so it's easy.
No, it's cozy.
Clip on, but yeah, and it's we're kind of squeezed in here, but it's big enough.
It's not as
we
small
can lean
as it
back, and we want to go get a beer, pass the bong, whatever you want to do. Yeah. All right, keep going now. So then, so we'll 23 to 28. What was going on there? You were just saving and working and
playing, but not as in music, as in I don't know, just doing shit.
Right, totally.
Making memories, however you want to look at it.
And so you've done your fair share of traveling.
I went cross country for a while.
During the hardcore years, or was that kind of afterwards? Or both?
That was the tail end of it, pretty much.
Okay. So that led you into...
Yeah.
Probably...
Well, the cross country trip, that's where I lost the Yamaha acoustic that I had. That's
shit.
No, that's how I got home.
Oh,
I got sick of traveling, and it's like, I'm going home.
So you had to pawn it?
I ran out of money and gas, didn't feel like working, just wanted to get back to the north in Knoxville, Tennessee. Spent the night in the scariest parking lot. I mean, 24/7 store. I figured I'd be safe.
I heard Knoxville was crazy in the 90s.
It was.
They cleaned it up a lot.
Has it? I don't.
It's nice now. It's crazy. I've heard so many stories.
That's crazy because I would never, at this point, really want to even go back there. There were so many pawn shops.
It's like how they cleaned up Boston a little.
Yeah,
it's like that, but actually a little better.
Damn.
It's crazy, dude.
I slept in my car in White Plains, New York, and felt comfortable in a freaking truck stop.
Right.
But I did not feel comfortable in a 24/7 Quickie Mart or whatever it was of sort. Yeah. Oh, it was nuts. Pawn shop guy gave me like $100 for, he's going to sell it for $5, I think.
Right. So what'd you
like,
dude,
$150. No, it was just gas for my car so I could get home.
Oh.
Gas and all.
That's back when gas was pretty affordable.
Shit, when
$1 a gallon or something.
89 cents, I think it was when I went out.
I think so.
Or maybe it had gone up to that like 99 marker.
Oh, right.
We were so upset when it turned $1 a gallon. It was hilarious. If we only knew then.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I got it. I got my license in 2001, so you're getting to the very tail end. I think it was $1.50 for a while, but then it was like, well, 2001 was the 9/11, everything after 9/11,
and then it just slowly
went. But then we had those couple years. What was it before?
Wow, when it was
he tried. Bush was like gonna run again or something, and he dropped it. What the hell is this? All right,
sidetrack. Politics.
So, yeah, let's not get into that.
No, that could be
There's
scary.
too much of that out there, and let's keep it positively musical.
I was gonna say,
or whatever, but so what were you saying? So you were
anyways,
actually, this can go into our next thing if you have any funny traveling stories, but this all goes into you settled down eventually.
Oh yeah, heck
yeah.
Well, we got the traveling one. Cross country is fun. Don't get me wrong. It was definitely. And if you do it right, you can work less, play more.
Right.
You just live frugally.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that my first guitar pawned, and he's like, "You can come back and get it." It's like, oh my word, and it's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, for
back.
how much? Right?
So, anyways, I get the money. I travel. I figured I was going to do it in 2-3 days. Yeah, 2-3. Started traveling, got in a good flow. Come into, I think it was White Plains, New York at like 1 a.m, and for whatever reason, I had planned on stopping like way earlier. So it's like, no, I can't sleep in my car here, and I'm getting close to home. So I hop into Hartford, Connecticut from the route I was taking.
Okay.
Somewhere on the skirts of Hartford. I walk into this general store, and I really thought the guy was going to push a button or pull a gun on me. I'd been in my car for like, I literally drove for almost 20 hours straight.
And you just looked like a zombie.
I was greasy, big long beard. I actually had hair back then, all the way down the middle of my back. And
anything or no?
I think I was a little, I don't know, borderline hallucinating from just driving for so long.
I've had that, man.
That I really think he thought I was like this craven crackhead that was gonna.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I just need gas, a soda, and I'm out of here.
Right.
And he looks at me. It's like, get my stuff, pay. Thank you much. Drive up to Barrie, take a good nap.
Barrie.
Oh, that was.
You can get away with it in Barrie.
Yeah, no. I wasn't worried then. In the 90s, it wasn't that bad down there.
Yeah, it's crazy in Barrie. Oh,
there we go.
You need another beer?
Yeah.
This one too. So, yep, they both half hour. Good to know. That one's still going? Cool. So, yeah, why don't you just pick up where you left off and I'll grab a beer. Yeah.
So I go, pulling a Barrie, taking a nap, like 2 hours. I was so close to home. Travel up, pull into where I was getting to, stop the car, and the temperature gauge comes up, and the car just about blows up right there. I'd been out on the road for a few months, traveling everywhere with nothing on me. That was quite the experience. And then we were getting back to my my musical journey, to where we are here and where we are now. Yeah. So after all that, raised my children, did my adult thing. Music's always been in my back pocket. I wouldn't say I was honing my craft, but maybe more creating the experiences to put into honing my craft.
Honing your sound.
Well, that too. Finding out what... I have musical ADD. I'll be honest. I do. I'll... I can't just stay in one style. Personally, when I'm writing, I will sit down, write something that is industrial, heavy metal.
I can totally relate to that. Totally.
And then after that, I could throw a looper pedal on with this crazy ambient wash on an acoustic guitar and create a soundscape. Whoa.
Sorry. That one's still going, so it's okay. All right, keep going. Sorry. You're into the multiple.
Yeah. And after that, I might diddle with some old school fingered traditional picking. I love to finger pick, to be honest. I don't do it enough anymore. I'm rusty as all can be because I don't really do it.
It's something you got to keep up with for sure.
I play lead fingers, don't get me wrong, and I'm always using my fingers, but my Travis picking, and the more...
You're doing more long bending notes with the lead as opposed to all these kind of picking steady.
Yeah, which I love to do, but you kind of get good at one thing and then you pull. For me, it's musical ADD. I'll mess around because I like the sound of it, or something's caught me, and then something else will catch my ear, and I will learn about that. But with music, if you don't continually imprint it, whatever it is you're learning, it's there but kind of forgotten. So you have to refresh yourself, at least for me.
No, I can totally relate. Like I don't think I'm the master at I play a lot of different string instruments. I don't think I'm the master in any of them. I just like get good enough at each of them to write a new song and then come back to them and slowly get better. So it's almost like that with style for you, which is a similar thing. You know what I mean? Because finger picking and lead can be completely different styles, especially with what you do.
Right, but to be able to... So, during this whole time when I was playing by myself, that's what I kind of did, was I'd play lead and rhythm at the same time as much as I possibly could. Or melodic rhythm. I guess that would be a better way to call it, would be melodic rhythm, because I didn't have looper pedals or anything.
That's fucking cool, man.
Maybe it's a bad description, I don't know, but...
Any
you know, you carry in multiple parts.
You're saying, so it's like industrial. It could be anywhere from industrial to metal to contemporary.
Yeah, it really can. Depends on what catches.
You do some blues stuff.
I do blues, love blues. How can you? It's one of the most emotionally connected musics there is.
Well, it's the root to so many other music. It's the root to like rock.
Well, yeah,
metal in its own right. I mean, kind of metal. I think classical is actually the root to metal. If you think about.
Yes, but still, it's rooted in rock. So if there wasn't rock, there wouldn't be metal. I don't think.
What is it? Is it Sabbath or is it?
Well,
what's the first official? Was it,
or is I thought it was. No, I thought it was Sabbath.
I can't be saying doing music, uncopyrighted music licks with my mouth here. All right, so
well, we get the point.
So, so you chilled out. And
I just grew.
You had some kids at 28, and then when did you? How long of a break did you stop performing live?
Well, I think 23 was my last show, and then my first one after that would have been 2009.
So 11 years ago, or is it maybe like 10 and a half? So you're from 34.
Yeah, I was about 34.
So 11 years you didn't perform live?
No, I didn't perform live or play with anybody.
But then the last 10 or 11 years, give or take, you for a while you only played like once or twice a year with people like Top Pronto.
If I could get the occasional, you know.
Cool.
We'd play together. I actually recorded was it one or two songs for him? No, he has It Can't All Be Wrong single, two-sided single, and he did a cover of Wonderful World, and I played nylon strings for him. And that was kind of about the same time that I was starting to try to create again. You know, actually play music on a more routine basis. Yeah.
As he's kind of seeking you out for Elitist.
Well, we've played together off and on for so long, and
you guys have been friends. And
yeah,
that's cool.
You know,
Tom Pronto's a local guy here in the Northeast Kingdom.
Good buddy of mine.
Writes some good originals.
Yep.
And I just want to say it's awesome to find in any local scene, really, for people who are writing originals and kind of pushing.
That's all he's ever done. Because
it can be kind of rare in certain spots. But
I do a mix. Well, actually, right now I'm mainly covers. So I refound music. I think that's 2009, and I actually got divorced. Well, different story, but we'll just say I got divorced.
And you had two kids at this point.
2 kids. Nothing. We just grew apart. And I met, actually, 10 years later, my wife, who we're going on 3 years of marriage.
Right on.
We've been together for almost 10 years. Actually, we've been together for 10 years now.
You guys do a special anniversary, or did you just forget?
We don't need anniversaries.
Yeah.
We don't. It's just like Valentine's Day. Don't need a day for somebody to actually tell me. I need to show appreciation. At least
just another rotation around the sun, right? Or
yeah, at least that show has some type of significance. But anyways, I was in a transitional stage in my life, 34, you know. Didn't know what to do with myself. Was in Amy, she was great. You know, it's like I got to reset myself up with an electric guitar. I hadn't had one in a while, like a long time. Set myself up, started playing more routine.
This is when you got not your first electric, but
no. My first electric since.
And after you've been finger picking acoustic for a long time, and refinding your self,
everything. Yes.
Everything. All right. Continue.
Do that.
Sounds good already.
For what? A couple of years, and at some point, somebody wanted to get together and jam. I was a noob to social media, period. I think I joined Facebook in 2009.
I did it 2008, I think. That was when it was pretty new. Or people
I was on the
outside of college.
Yeah, I was on the tail end of 2009, I think, when I joined, and that everybody had already jumped the bandwagon.
It's been killing me ever since. No.
So I joined, but I didn't give a crap. I had like 50 friends, and out of that 50...
Right.
You know, it was just a small circle that I didn't really do much with. I was going to jam with somebody, and I'd been working on this finger picking piece that I call a Northeast Kingdom rag, which, God, I'd have to actually reteach myself. It's been so long since I've played it. But I just threw up an acoustic clip of it, and it was kind of received pretty well for my whole 50 friends. And
hell yeah.
So I kind of just started doing that and found...
Does this clip still exist?
Oh, yes.
And it's on your same profile?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
That's
old school, man.
Yeah. I see.
New beginnings.
It's scary, though. So I wasn't that good. Like, as in I hadn't gotten my hands back. I was sloppy. I'd lost a lot of technique.
Right.
You know, my bend
you hear it the
sucked.
most. Oh. You're your own worst enemy. We all are.
But I've kept I did this, like, weird journey where I was nobody. I was just jamming along with YouTube backing tracks, which that's kind of how I like to practice on for building melodies, creating. I'll use somebody else's general idea and then construct melody, not just tweedledee-doots.
Right.
You know, a theme.
Interesting.
It's good for the brain. Really hoping stuff.
And you switch up the styles.
Yeah, you never know. It's like I'd just let it go on random. But I'd record clips of me doing that, post them, and share them in different little groups. And and you know, some days it was like, you are great. Other days were like, dude, tune your guitar. It's
I know. Yeah.
You know
people can be.
You know, so it's a roller coaster
criticism.
trying to figure out, okay, who do I take serious? Who do I get butthurt because, oh my God, they just berated me because of X, Y, or Z?
Oh, man.
How do I respond? What do I want to look like?
Yeah.
And
it's a constant thing.
Yeah, well, everybody's got a bad day. I work retail grocery, and a lot of people take out their bad days on the cashier. Not because any other reason why than that person is there.
At that moment, and yeah.
And you know they can't do anything, so boom.
Damn.
You know. Oh, crap. Where were we going?
I don't know. We're all over, but that's cool. So
back to you then.
You were building up your game.
No. I just started
slowly. So you had a slow come up here.
Yes and no. It didn't take me that long when I actually got into it, but I've got my progression of, like, I really thought about pulling every single video I have from a certain period off.
Me too.
You know,
sure.
They're crappy cameras, bad shots,
right.
Incredibly horrendous sound. You know, just everything. Dogs, animals, kids, open doors, bad lighting.
Sometimes it adds people,
but that's my journey.
Yeah,
no,
for sure.
It's my journey, so you can see, and
that's kind of the cool thing about the social media.
You know,
it's documented
like
for
somebody
you.
really wants to go, whatever. It's like, well, look how long ago that is, and look where I am now, and that means I've been growing as a musician, as an artist.
Right.
Now I've been doing solo shows where sometimes off a looper based, create the music right there. All mainly guitar, some synth, bass.
Right.
Cool. Well, I play just a little bit of everything. I play keys, drums, bass, guitar. I do full compositions.
Right. So he plays with backing tracks, whether he's live or with his other duo further north. But you actually make all the sounds you hear
for my own personal stuff.
For your personal
yes.
stuff. Okay.
Further north, I've started making a few, but I hate replicating.
Right, so when doing covers, you use something that
doing covers, there's a website that we can purchase, a backing track that's mixable. And,
right on.
And then we'll add some of our own stuff to it if we're going to do like a pre-made vocal harmony or something. Yeah, so we'll add in our own piece, but I have done a couple for us. And it's interesting replicating somebody else's music, like the whole composition, without having being able to isolate each track.
Right, especially when you've kind of, maybe only focused on the guitar solo prior. Then you're like, oh shit, there's a lot to this song. But
I did one where I had to listen to a 36, it wasn't even 36 seconds. It was like a 15 to 20 second clip because I could not isolate. All I could hear was the guitar solo.
Oh, you couldn't get what everything else was doing.
I couldn't. I knew what was going on, but I couldn't get the movement. It's like, this is getting stupid.
Right. That's interesting, man. But still, but with any original stuff you do, which you do post a good amount, probably more, predominantly.
Yeah.
With your own page.
I've been lazy on the social media. It's been rough here, so I kind of stepped back, been playing out and focusing on me a little bit more than.
Right. Yeah. No, it's hard to keep up with this sometimes, and it's like it almost feels mandatory.
And it's not that the people are great. The people are great. You build a following. It's not a following. It's friendship with most of them.
Oh yeah, totally. Actually, let me. I can dump that phone real quick. Keep talking. Let's keep rolling here, man. Actually, this could transition good into kind of talking about our own local scene, regional, whatever, and maybe any local scenes, which you kind of got into in the past. You also kind of lived in Massachusetts area and did.
Yeah, for the beginning
of the high school.
No, I moved up here in 6th grade.
Oh, I got you.
So K through 6, I was down there, and then.
So you're kind of going back and forth to like Burlington, Montreal scene in the hardcore days, or just Burlington?
Just Burlington. I don't even know if Montreal. Oh, Montreal had a huge scene, but yeah, no.
But eventually on the road from Burlington, kind of through that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay, so but the main local scene is our local scene here.
Yeah, and we kind of have one.
Kingdom of Vermont, for sure. It's
flourishing for.
We could touch base on that a little bit. You know how it's,
Well, it's nice to have it. It is nice to have live local music.
We get to work a lot, like we really do. We can play anywhere from 3 to 5 to 6 times a week, like every week if we try hard enough and make good money. I mean, you got to hustle.
And the funny thing is, I don't really sing during my own personal solo material. I'm just not comfortable with myself. I guess I haven't found my voice yet to the point.
You focus on more
and
your guitar skill.
Yeah, and I'm a guitar player, and I don't know. I don't think every guitar player has to sing while they're playing. It's not that I can't. I do from time to time. I've got some decent songs with vocals. Not incredible. I'm an instrumentalist. I like to do the layers of sounds and.
What's it like playing in a local scene though? Like I said, the guy passed out on you or anything. Experiences.
Well, okay, so we're leading up to that. So we play out a lot, and as Jacob was saying, we all work quite a bit if you want to. That's the nice thing about the current scene. We're playing at a local pizza place in Orleans.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
Was it a? No. Was it a?
Play there quite often.
Well, Jacob and I do play. We'll be there this Thursday, actually, and then back sometime. But regardless, so we're strumming away, and we've had decent people out on the dance floor. This is my other group further north, We do predominantly like classic rock covers, more on the 70s, early 80s spectrum, I guess is the best way to put it. It's good old time music. People enjoy it. And that's why we do it. People enjoy it.
That's part of kind of like the local scene here. Is that
you know
that style a lot, at least certain places definitely.
Yeah, and we try to bring a good sound and.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're jamming along. I think it was a Pink Floyd tune. And this couple that had been dancing all night, having a great time. And I see the husband go out the door. And then I see the wife and somebody else, and I'm playing away, and I look over, and it's like the guy looks like he's going to hit the ground, and he's not small.
We've all seen this guy if you've been to enough bars. I think.
Well, that's what it looked like. Right. That's really what it looked like. So somehow somebody got a chair out to him, and he hits the chair, and he's unconscious pretty much, and the chair is weak. And I look at Pete, and I'm like, dude, I roll the volume off, and it's like, I'm going out there. Put my guitar down.
Take charge.
Well, I think they were in their 60s, and the wife was in her early 60s. And if I'm wrong, they're going to give me crap if they see this. Anyways, run out, see what I can do, and ended up being he was having an allergic reaction to the red food dye in the chicken wing sauce. Wow. But we didn't know that at that point. Well, she said it happened before. He was unconscious. Other things had happened. I wasn't exactly clean by the time we were done. Right. Took 45 minutes to get an ambulance there. The ambulance bay itself is a 1-minute walk from where we were playing, but they were all out on calls, so we had to get another district come up. They finally come, get him loaded in. He's fine. It's allergic reaction. They gave him an epi shot, some other stuff, kept him for the night. We walked back in, and they're like, can you guys... And it wasn't meant meanly. They wanted us to continue on playing, like, in tribute almost. Toothbrush. Hopefully. Anywho.
Oh shit!
But yeah, so it's like give me 1 second. I go grab a beer, pick up my guitar, and it's like, what are we gonna do? We ended up playing probably about a half hour, 45 minutes over that night, just because we knew he was okay, and the people there just wanted more, and it was fun. But it was scary too. He had conked out a couple times in my arms, literally. It's like, wow.
You did the right thing though, so that's awesome.
Well, I couldn't watch that. It was insane. It's like, wow.
So you ever had like any crazy or creepy social media experiences with people online? Or funny, anything?
Funny? Yeah, no. I'm a little old school, so it's like took me a little bit to adjust to all this. It's amazing what people will not ask but divulge. You'll get these random messages sometimes. Telling your life story. Yeah, it's like, and it's not that I don't care. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll actually read it, and it's like, oh, this poor soul, one way or another. But it's just crazy that how people will reach out to people that they really don't know, but make a connection through on just what you let be seen.
Well, that's I could say. Yeah, I kind of feel old school in that manner too, because it's just weird. Just not being able to hear the tone of someone's voice, like even just talking on the phone.
Yeah.
Because then you can hear how they're pronouncing things, like what their attitude is, what have you.
Sarcasm.
Oh, sarcasm. So you can't even understand it on a social media aspect. So that's actually another reason why I started this thing, just to kind of have more conversations instead of typing them out on a fucking messenger or something. Because with technology, we could be doing this in so many different ways.
No, you don't even have to type it out these days. You can dictate it all.
And see, that's something I'm like, why am I going to talk to my phone to type something? Why don't I just call them? It's so weird.
Totally agree.
I used to know someone who did that all the time, and I thought she was talking on the phone, but you never hear someone
right
talk, and you're like, what the fuck? It's just it's crazy though. But so you got a funny? Oh, so just people kind of I've had that too. People just immediately pouring their life story, like, you know, like, I'm such a fan of you. Now, please listen to me tell you everything about my sorrows. And
no,
I got nothing but love for people, but it's not something I would personally do.
Well, that's it
in that way. For sure.
No, then you got the other ones. You know, can you give me free guitar? It's like, no, I can't give you free guitar. I can barely get me my guitar that I want.
I had this guy who was like insisting that I would buy his stomp box, and I was just trying to explain to him that how it wouldn't work for how I stomp, and he just wasn't. He wouldn't even give it a time, because I was actually serious. Like it made sense. The way I stomp is more.
You know, on the other side though,
and I was just like, what the hell?
Yeah, I've actually got a couple. I've gotten a few free guitars and got to demo a couple guitars as well,
right? From
different smaller companies, just for doing videos now.
And that's the social. It's a love-hate thing,
which
or
is kind of cool. You know, it's like, wow.
There's pros and cons to the social media, you know, but sometimes it's just like, do the cons outweigh the pros, and that's just how you have to look at it sometimes. Yeah. Or what would be making it outweigh.
So I have an accounting degree. To sound like that corporate guy.
Oh shit!
It's just a matter of the return on investment.
So you're a good saver, huh? Your accounting degree. No.
That means I'm good with numbers.
He's good with numbers. All right.
I'm good with numbers.
Good with math. Most musicians are, hopefully.
Well, that's how I learned guitar, to be honest. I mean, I understood music and notes, but
It's like tablature, and it was just like.
Yeah, but I kind of locked it into different keys, and from there, I learned backwards is what it was, and then I put the actual music behind the numbers at some point.
Well, what's backwards for some is forward for others.
That is true. That is true.
But yes, it's you know, I really like how we can get our music exposed to so many people, obviously online, and we're independently doing it, whether if it's sharing in groups or I'm kind of doing a more paying for some promotions. It's pretty minimal paying, but
you have to do that aspect. You have to do it though nowadays if you want the traffic, if you want to build. I don't like the word fans. Build a bigger family, you know, of sorts.
Fan base, or however you want to call it, or just kind of. That's why I like even having like a group, because I have like
I'm a member.
Right, the Jacob Green Soul Folk, whatever the hell it is, Soul Blues Folk Rock group. Find that on Facebook and join that shit. But just having, you know, you're having access to get fans or give your fans a lot of content.
Yes.
If you choose, you know, you kind of have to do it in a certain way to kick in the algorithm thing or what have you.
Well, that's it. Once you figure out there.
Sometimes it's like, I appreciate it for those aspects, but then I'm always like, man, like, what did they used to do? Was it like this much of a headache? You know, like
you mailed 90s out press kits.
Right, but or even just like I used to hang up a lot of flyers before it was like everything social media, like 2009 and 8. You know, flooding them around time. 2010 too. You know, because you live in like a inner city neighborhood, you can do that. Even Burlington, they still do it. Yeah. You know, I don't know if it means much anymore, but
no, it does because you know but you don't pick up that much.
And so in some ways, it's like, well, maybe you have more opportunity to do it yourself nowadays, independently, to get yourself out there.
Yeah.
But maybe that causes some oversaturation.
I won't argue that.
Wants to do
I won't.
There's a lot of mediocre.
Yeah, just
I mean, not to say whatever, but
no, they haven't honed in their skills yet.
Right.
But it's so easy to do it, and on that end, you know, it does feel nice when people say, "Hey, that sounds great, man," or you know, so it becomes like for some people it can become like a drug.
And it feels shitty when people are just trolls and want to say something just to piss you off.
When they rain on your parade.
And like that's one thing I don't understand, because it's like, I guess maybe sometimes I have been guilty of that, but the majority of the time, if not all the time, if I see something I don't like, I just keep scrolling.
It's
like, why would I waste time on going on my way to... I've never
understood that myself. But I guess if you're lonely sitting at home or really upset with your life,
right,
it's really easy. You don't have to worry about being punched in the throat anymore. You know, not unless the people actually know where you live. So it creates a lot of false security, and I don't know, just a good outlet, or a bad outlet, should I say, for some people.
Yeah.
So you just have to learn to take real constructive criticism and then weed out the rest.
Right. Like I said, there's pros and cons to it, and it's like anything in life. It's all how you react, you know. It's how you react to it. So it just almost, to me, it almost seems like as an independent musician, it's like almost pretty much mandatory in a way. It's like to really, especially maintain, if you're booking a lot of shows, you're trying to make it some type of a living or money off of it. It's really mandatory. You know, I'm in the process of putting out an album in late February. Maybe this will be out, I don't know. But I'm in the process of putting out an album soon. Yeah, and just the process of really trying to get the word out to everybody, building up a mailing list, you know, promoting videos to attract new fans. I mean, it's a hell of a process, and it's extremely time-consuming and can be, you know, a mental breakdown in some aspects, you know, depending. But, again, it's how you react to it. And
yeah, it's how you look at the statistics and numbers that you get from it and then learn how to make the ones that you're not happy with increase.
True. And then I think you almost, well, if you take enough mental notes, you kind of naturally pay attention to what does better.
Yeah.
And what doesn't.
There's all a personal
and you can always be like, oh, I'm an artist or whatever. I just put out what I feel. You can do that. And I've done that plenty of times. But if you really, I think, want to get somewhat professional, you have to at least, because you're still putting out original content.
You have to be consistent.
To what they like. Yeah. And consistency is huge.
You have to be consistent.
Yeah. I've been getting into like scheduling posts more. Yeah. And doing shit in advance.
Well, so to help really save time, because that's the thing. People don't get it. You don't get paid for a lot of this.
Oh, no shit. And the efforts we're making.
You know, we're not talking like 15, 20 minutes a day. Right. If you want to really work it, you have to work it either all day, or you have to build an algorithm that kind of knows your style.
Well, and the thing is, I think, you know, back to the local scene, I think in a local scene like this, we could still probably survive if we didn't have a strong social media presence. Oh, yeah. But I think it's made it easier for us to book stuff without, you know, like a blink of an eye or whatever, because it's just like, you know, if you look at numbers or whatever, because it's just...
Yeah, following numbers, and
views and all that, whatever.
Yeah, it all plays a factor. I consider it a musical resume. Is, you know, it's a good, instead of, here, check me out, here's this, here's links to this, here's links to this. Some could be info, some could be actual raw footage.
Right.
You can get it out there, and you get people that stumble upon you.
Yeah,
you know, from time to time.
Sharing with groups, you don't know who's
in
that
there
notification, who watches your video. I mean, I'm in a ton of groups, and I don't always check them, but you know, when I do, it'll be something cool. I mean, not always, but you know, you never know. So
no, and they're groups of like-minded individuals, supposedly. Seems like they're polar opposites, but
yeah, it's strange, but again, you know, it has its pros and cons, and
the amount of people that you potentially can reach, both fan base and inner network, is just incredible.
Well, and it's like I would definitely say maybe because I was traveling more, I lived in different areas, but you know, when I started playing more shows consistently, like 100 to 150 a year type thing, I was doing way more through email 7 years ago for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years almost. And it's been the last 2 or 3 years where everything's like through Messenger on Facebook now. If they have a page on Facebook, you can just contact them, show them your page or your website or whatever, and it's as simple as that. Or maybe sometimes they'll say, call this person or email this person.
Or then you hope that they monitor their page.
But I know I'm pretty sure I've gotten more just through the Messenger, just responding. Do you have this date open? Yeah. So, I mean, and that's another part of kind of having that following, even if it might be annoying or it kind of.
No, I wouldn't. I would never really
set
say
here.
it's annoying. It's just
It's not annoying to have a following, but to almost keep up in a sense.
well, that's it. And then something that's like, oh, I should do something. I feel guilty. I haven't done anything for a while.
It's motivating, but it's like,
You know,
should
and
you feel
it's-
guilty? Or
well, that's the whole thing. And
just let it come naturally. It's the hard.
yeah,
You know, that's what you choose as an original artist, I suppose. How do you want to?
and then you can always recirculate stuff. But I have never been. I don't like to recirculate too much. I'll bring stuff back per se.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, yeah, I like to do it to an extent, but I don't know. I play with too many people, and I feel like, oh man, you sound good if we redid this.
Right.
Or I've done so many songs as a one-man band. That's what I normally do, and so the percussion is just my stomp box and foot tambourine.
Oh yeah.
And now, and half of them don't even have bass on them. It's just what I do live as a one-man band. So acoustic guitar, singing, stomp box, and harmonica. And now listening to it later, it's like, if I could do this as a full band and make it that much more solid of a song. That's not every song.
No.
But it's almost like some stuff I listened to in the past, I released it at this time as something, as an official EP or album.
Yep.
But now it sounds like a demo because it's, you get better and you...
Well,
I can do that shit a little better. And there's artists who do that. There's a lot of artists I know Steve Earle's an artist who does that.
That's the
one off
journey,
top of
though.
my head. So
Yeah,
for sure. And it's almost just like what songs are worth it from there.
Well, that's
to
it. It's,
even consider re-recording it.
for me, I guess it's kind of the whole. Some songs transition, however you want to look at it. Starts one place. And really, you're just getting different reincantations of the same song as it's emotionally, whatever, growing. It's a matter of picking that point and go, okay, is this baby done growing, or are we going to work on it some more?
And that's almost like the mystical thing about music. It almost, it's hard to decide when it is complete, or it can just like come back and give you a whole nother
bring into a different
feeling.
direction.
And like, maybe I should just redo this in a whole nother way. Like that could be really cool. But yeah, I mean, so what you want to do with it, like I always say, just props to anyone who's pushing original material, whatever it might be. Because it's it can be. I mean,
it's difficult, to be honest. I see it. That's the other. I don't know the best way to put it. The availability to get yourself out there so much with the saturation makes it harder for you to stand out. And right now, I've noticed the music industry is pushing old band big.
There's a lot of throwback. Of covers of now. It's almost like 90s material or anything that's
well,
like
the 90s is
classic
making
material.
a resurgence. There's a bunch of reunion tours. And I love that these older, then you got the Stones and the old classic rock guys that are still kicking around.
Kind of left.
They're all the 80s hair guys are retouring again. So they're bringing back all these big names, flooding the venues, and not really looking for real upcoming new real music to take over. And
well, and that's what I think. That's what I always say. Like, if we glorify classic rock so much, are we even going to like pay attention to who's carrying the torch for the next generation?
They're not. That's what's going on. I mean, there's some. There is some. Don't get me wrong.
There's artists, but it's almost like.
But the movement's kind of.
It's almost like even the artists that you might consider carrying the torch, they almost have to like at least put out some material that's polished to even fit into that mainstream. It's not like so original of the 70s and 60s.
No.
Like, if you could say. Maybe this is crazy, but you feel like Gary Clark Jr. You're familiar with him, so like if you could say he's almost like carrying a torch of Hendrix, not just because he's black or whatever, because he has the blues thing, he's doing a psychedelic thing, he has a message and conscience thing, but maybe in some aspects he has to at least put some type of polished or produced sound to reach the mainstream base, because I think is one of his biggest songs is the Beatles cover.
Clapton had to do that though, even way back in the 80s.
Yeah, but and that's the whole trip about like how we appreciate like, you know, Clapton when he did the Dwayne album, the Derek and the Dominoes. We appreciate it now, but it wasn't as big then. It was like pretty big, but not how we look at it now.
Yeah.
Like, was that mainstream then? I think it was more like
no
following style.
Yeah.
And we're just like, we just group classic rock into this big clump of like late 60s to early 80s. Now it's almost, well, now you can say like
no,
90s.
now it's the stuff I went into high school.
They're like playing Sublime and Nirvana and Pearl Jam
I know.
on classic rock stations now. I guess it's fucking
it blows my mind.
Over 20 years. So, no, it's 20 years right about now. So yeah. I'm almost 35. It's 20 years ago. I was a fucking freshman in high school. Turning 15.
Yeah.
Nathan was it, but that's
about
right.
26 years,
that's
I think.
Yeah, you're not that much older.
Nah.
You're like a...
No, 26 years from graduating. Yes, I'm a Gen Xer.
Older. Yeah.
I am the tail end of it.
What the fuck am I? I'm Generation Y? Or no?
Why aren't you? Or are you... you're not a Gen Next.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I never pay attention.
Nah, neither do I.
Doesn't matter. It's... But yeah, I think it's because you probably have an appreciation for, I mean, I would guess some like mid 80s stuff that I probably wouldn't as much because I was born in the mid 80s, and then probably like early 90s and mid 90s, you probably have a love for it even more than I do because I was probably like I did a weird transition from like hip hop into punk and then eventually classic rock and shit.
Yeah.
So,
see, I
what's
put
some
the classic
of your favorite high school shit.
I'm a generic 90s boy when it comes to that. I mean,
the classic rock now, buddy.
I know. You know, Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, and Prior.
That's a classic album. That's the best. Rick Rubin produced it.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal. No, George Clinton produced.
No, he produced the first one. I said Rick Rubin.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm arguing the fact that I love the first one that George Clinton produced. That's what.
Oh, that's
It was self-titled. Yeah.
And it has the Stevie Wonder cover.
No, that's Mother's Milk. That was a phenomenal album. The Chili Peppers were great.
Hell yeah.
You know, we'll just leave it at that.
I didn't like the Navarro album too much.
No, but I said, yeah, no, they went through their journey just like.
But they're still fucking rocking.
Yeah, I know, and they're just getting Fertucci back, and however you pronounce his.
I think they're definitely like a very original sound.
Oh yeah,
I mean, like, it goes in a lot of different genres, but yeah, we used to cover a few of their songs. Green in the Grid. We're probably covering something that was popular at the time. All around the world. Yeah, that was a.
Oh yeah.
So that was kind of our like. I knew about Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
I was a sophomore.
It, but it was like I was already you know, that was the past, you know, like I'm trying to think.
Yeah, my generation.
Yeah, exactly right.
So you were probably Breaking Benjamin. Maybe did you ever listen to Default?
No.
Hoobastank,
yeah.
So and I was in my mid-20s at that point. Okay. You know, so I was still listening to something Cold.
Did you get into Sublime much ever?
Some.
See, that was huge in like high school and after high school because he died in
he died
98.
Yeah,
or 96 or
no, I think it was 98, wasn't it?
No, it was 96 because he was 28 and he was born in 68. Yeah, I know weird things.
Okay, no, yeah,
that would be information on musicians. See, and, yeah. No, but then he got so much bigger afterwards.
Oh, he got huge after.
That was the thing about Sublime, like, because that was the cool thing about kind of where I grew up. You could go to a hip hop party and hear Sublime. You go to a punk party and hear Sublime.
Yeah,
and then you go to like even a preppy. Whatever jock party and fucking hear Sublime
and nobody would bitch about it. Yep,
it's like hip hop, acoustic, punk, reggae, obviously.
Pretty much whatever came up in the moment.
And that's, you know, I think that had a pretty big influence.
I hate to say it. I think it was
for
Dave.
Matthews. Is that what you're saying?
No. I got into. I first heard Sublime like for real. Paid attention was through a PlayStation 1 game. Dave Muir BMX. They had it. No, it was PlayStation 2. Anyways.
What song was it?
What I got which
Oh hell yeah!
I used to cover that one. I haven't done it in a while. It's fun one to play.
I do Badfish. Yeah,
Yeah,
what I got is
we've
really
done that
easy
one
really easy to play.
Yeah, it is.
It's just
like,
the back and forth 2-chord thing, right?
Yep.
And then you rock that solo. Oh shit!
Yeah, it's a fun tune to play. I like this. I like the story in it. There's some lines that he can connect with, but it was through a video game. That's how I heard that one.
So did you get into the Nirvana thing, or was that like too trendy?
Trendy.
It wasn't trendy yet, or then, because you hit it right.
No,
didn't you say you saw them before they blew up with or Smashing Pumpkins?
I saw Smashing Pumpkins. I was supposed to see. It was Lollapalooza '94, but that was this. I had tickets bought, and that's the year that
he bailed. They bailed on it.
No, he didn't bail. We won't get into theories, but he killed himself.
Yeah, no, but I thought that was a big reason. We won't say her name, but
yeah,
was mad at him because he didn't want to do that. They were going to pay him tons of money.
No, that was booked,
like,
and then he was dead. They had played tour.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah,
which there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh yeah, no,
so
that
you
was.
So wait, you were like 15 in '91.
Lollapalooza '94. I was 18.
But you were like 16 when you heard Nirvana, or 15, and you were like, "This."
Yeah, I was.
So you like
a freshman or a sophomore? I can't remember which.
So you like, have you listened to Nevermind 1,000 times, type of thing, or?
I probably went through about 4 tapes through the years, CD or 2, and now I think we just got a digital. I don't listen to it that much anymore.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no.
I can only imagine, like, that's kind of the trip of like when
it was so new.
It's insane.
You know, I mean, the Meat Puppets had been around, but not many people knew them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were kind of, I don't know, the predecessors to.
So did you get into Pearl Jam just as much, or were they kind of?
Oh, I listened to it all. I really did. Rage Against the Machine. They're still on my bucket list, and they're touring this year, but it's like $300 a ticket.
Dude,
I won't pay $300 a ticket.
They did something like they did another tour. I think it was like a decade ago, and I could have saw them.
Yeah,
for like
I know.
$50
I remember that one
in Wisconsin at Alpine Valley. But that I loved fucking Rage too, because I was
Rage, Tool, Perfect Circle. I mean, I transitioned with it for quite a while. You know, even into the semi-modern emo end. But I'm really bad with band names like Atreyu.
Oh yeah.
You know. On that end.
What about you ever get into punk stuff much, or any like punk ska?
I've seen
much?
Yeah, no, I've seen Skank and Pickle, Tantrum Monster,
the
Mighty Mighty Bosstones.
Oh, and you said you saw them right before they blew up, right? Or when they
that was up here at Johnson State College.
Oh shit, that's fucking cool. Yeah. But yeah, of course they got big in the college thing before they Yeah, that was.
Oh, they had some crazy songs before that, though.
Yeah,
they covered a Slapshot tune that was incredible.
Well, he's got a pretty gritty voice. You know?
Yep, Bostonian.
Yeah, like it's pretty low and it's masculine.
It's funny, but I've never been a huge fan of Rancid.
Really, it's kind of acquired taste with the voice.
I'm not saying that I just never really. It's like,
There's just like, to me, there's certain albums, but then like if you like them as a whole, you kind of appreciate their experimental albums. But
it's not that I don't. It's just it's not my. You know, I can always appreciate good music. That's one thing. It's like I'm not a big Ramones fan either. You know, I mean, but I loved like Black Flag, old Henry Rollins. You know,
yeah.
Circle Jerk, Sex Pistols.
See, so you probably you were catching
Fugazi.
that wave too. Fugazi, they were all over the place. But because like they weren't always instrumental, right?
No.
Yeah, see, by the time I heard them, they were instrumental.
Yeah, no, they.
No, I mean, well, like No Effects, or listen to them, or they were kind of later
I almost
too.
think I might have saw them.
See, I've seen them once.
I think I saw them once somewhere. I can't remember, but yes. Yeah, then I got into like Stabbing Westward, the different spectrum. Moved into industrial a little bit.
Like Nine Inch Nails?
KMFDM.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Ministry,
yeah, okay. Cool.
White Zombie was okay, but they seemed to be on the metal spectrum more than the industrial for me. It wasn't bad, but...
Right on.
But yeah, no. I mean,
so have you dabbled with?
I've created some.
What kind of like drum machines we talking here?
God, my first one was a Roland, this little thing. I mean, literally this gray thing that had a few pads on it and a few numbers and the screen. It's like it took me like months to figure out how to get boom chicks on it for a minute. I've got an old, you know, but once you figured it out, it's like, oh, okay. I had an old school Fostex 4-track.
Huh.
So if I needed multiple, I would do like 4 tracks, bounce them down.
Oh, right. So you can
the old like 4-track trick.
16 at most.
I did a 30. No, I did a 32 track song through bounce downs once.
And see, and that's like.
I mean, it lost sound quality each time.
As I was saying, mixing on that level, you're like, oh, I could get a little bit
I was
more
also
there.
sampling from the TV with the Sega Genesis sound effects from RoboCop, the video game, for actual gun noises.
That game. That's awesome.
I mean, that's how you did it before we had DAWs and
just shit you could download.
It was. You had a 4-track and you pushed the limits as much as you possibly could, and you learned. Even if it sounded like crap, you made it sound better than it did when you originally recorded it all.
Right. Totally. No, I mean, I used to do a lot of mixing. Like, I got I think I was like in 7th grade or something. I was 12 or 13. And I got like a karaoke machine. It had 2 tape decks and a CD
microphone
player and a microphone. One tape deck could record, so you could play a CD, like an instrumental, and record that, and then sing. Or I was like into hip hop and shit. I could like rap over it.
Right, it was a little DJ setup kind of.
And then you could like take that, put that on the tape that just plays, and record something else on top of that.
Yep.
And I got into it a lot, or just like mixing a lot, like trying to like mix 2 songs together, not even knowing what the keys were, just trying to do it by ear. You're like 12 or 13 years old, but like I got really good at like doing it in rhythm, like in beat, like matching, just pushing the button in. Like that shit was challenging, dude. But like you fucking sit there all day, you're just sitting by your tape player.
So you probably made some mixtapes then.
I did,
or
but
was that on his way out?
They never really were shown to too many people outside of like
I had
my
to make,
brother and his friends.
I used to make
some of my friends
mixtapes for people. Be like, you got to make me a mixtape. It's like, do you know how long it takes to make these things?
Right.
It's like, first you got to figure out every single song you're going to put on it, which is, if it was an art form, it really was. It was an art form because you created a musical story somehow through, 45 minutes of music. And
it'd be so cool to like,
and songs you might not know.
People who actually would pay attention enough and get into it. You like smoke a joint or whatever, go on a cruise and fucking just get lost in the tape. Like, I miss that, man. Like, it's almost.
I mean, we have playlists now that kind of do it for you, but
you sometimes you throw yourself.
Yeah, you can.
It's almost harder to. We're so saturated with music or media in general. It's almost like harder to get that connection with people. Like, hey, listen to my 10 playlists. No, listen to mine.
I know.
We can listen to both.
You gotta like mine first.
All right, pick your top 5, bro. We're going. Your 5, my 5. But I mean, I think that's just that's another fucking powerful thing.
It
with
is.
Music. Is how it just like makes you almost feel more connected to people because you're like, I feel it like you do.
Live, your first real concert experience, even if it's a small one, you just
like that's what some of my songs were basement shows, and like getting into a mosh pit at a basement show, and there's only 20 people in the whole fucking party, like,
and everybody's bleeding.
Yeah, exactly. You're going balls to the wall, and it's just like just for hearing like. Who knows how shitty the music was if you can't even remember, but just hearing any sort of live music, you're like, that's what I live for, man. So it's cool, man. And then I think that's probably how you end up doing it later in life as some type of profession, because at a young age you had some type of like love for it. That was deep. The shit's deep, man. Shit runs deep.
It does.
Going back to my middle school gangster ways, and
I got to see the Wu-Tang Clan once.
I saw them too, actually. Yeah, when did you see them? You probably saw them way better time.
2000.
I think I saw
2000. They were opening for actually I think it was DMX and Redman that were supposed to be opening for Limp Bizkit.
Oh shit!
And DMX went to jail. So
oh shit! I've seen DMX.
Well, the rest of the Clan showed up. It was incredible.
See, I think I saw him in 2004, and ODB wasn't dead yet, but I think he was in jail still. So I saw, I think probably 9. If you can include
those boys had some energy.
Yeah, for sure.
They threw a hard hitting.
It's funny. I saw him this place in Milwaukee, and they get a lot of big bands, but I just remember Method Man. He's like, "Fucking sound system sucks." He threw the fucking mic on the ground. He's like, "Fuck this." It was at the very end of the show, but when I saw DMX at the same place, not only he played like almost 2 hours later than he was scheduled, he only played for like a half hour. And he's like,
I gotta go. The cops are coming.
I think he's on those hard substances that well, maybe not now. Or I don't know. DMX, I fucking loved DMX in middle school, man. I was like,
I wasn't into
12,
it really.
13, like, I kind of went to a school like that. It was, like. By the end of middle school,
that was a big kind of movement back at that time
for sure.
So when I was getting out of school is when that movement was really hitting hard. Before that, so what you had was like LL Cool J, the original, not current.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's that in between too.
Well, yeah, and then you walked into like Will Smith, the BC Boys. I saw them back.
Still love BC Boys.
They were incredible live. Incredible.
And they do everything, right? They rap to the beat, they play the instruments.
They do in recording.
Oh, they didn't do it live? They just rap to the beat?
They bounce around.
But at bigger shows, I've seen them do all of it later.
They will, but yeah, they would pick up a guitar every once in a while, but not
like
all
Sabotage or Gratitude or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they put on a great show, they really did.
So you said before, yeah, and that's the whole thing. If you didn't get into it in high school, it changes a lot because you're just like influenced when you're younger. And
well, that's my musical ADD. I used to love playing jazz, trumpet, and concert band. To be honest, right compositions were incredible. So I like classical, I like jazz, I like punk, I like hardcore, I like metal. I mean, list goes on and on. Right. I like old traditional roots, Americana.
Fuck yeah.
And I like to play it all, or at least dabble. Let me rephrase that. I like to dabble in all of it.
Well, I think there's something to be said about, you almost, maybe you're more open or you like more diverse genres if you have a desire to learn them, in a sense. I don't know.
Yeah, well, something catches your ear, and even if it's...
Like, could I play that? Yeah,